Hi guys, so I actually mounted a new camera, so now you can see me in like almost 4K. I mean it's 1080p because I'm using my phone for recording. The quality is like so different. So in the level 4, which in my opinion is one of the hardest things to do, so please focus on this one. We're going to be adding musculature to the Dinosaurs. So yeah, now the bony landmarks that we have modeled are gonna come in handy because it's gonna be used for the muscle placement and etc. So without further ado, let's start with the legs, because in my opinion they're one of the most difficult things to get. I mean, they were one of the most difficult things for me to get. So we're gonna use the reference from Louis La Rosa, and yeah, I'm gonna try to explain how it works and what's even happening in the picture. Okay, so first of all, a bit of theory. I like to break it down in a few ways. So first of all, we have this chunk of muscles. So we got 1, 2, and 3, and then we have this kind of thing like a knee, the attachment. So this is the muscle chunk number 1, which is going the most outwards. Next up, we have this little muscle, which is which goes under the red chunk. Yeah. Then we have another muscle which attaches to the ilium right here, and it's under, I mean, it's over the orange one, but it's a bit lower in priority to the red chunk. And then we have the one which attaches, I think it's the femoralis, I don't remember, it doesn't matter. And then we have one muscle that attaches to the to the ilium. But this part is invisible, so it's just gonna go kinda under there. Okay, and then the lower parts of the leg, let's pick blue. We have the gastrocnemius, this muscle, and then it has like 2 heads. This one is from the inner leg, and it goes down here. Okay. So this is the gastroc muscle. Let's give it this. And then this is the second head, which looks like that. And then we are going to have the muscle which is from the front, attaches here to the leg, this part of the leg bone. We have it, and it attaches somewhere out here, and it goes here. So what it does, it creates an interesting structure. Oh yeah, and yeah, also one more thing. This is not visible from this side, but we also have this muscle, which is like second one from the front. I don't think if you even see much of it, but yeah, it's present there. And what it does, let me pick a black color, let's say. We have these bony landmarks right here. So we have bone here, and we have bone right here. So these are gonna be bony landmarks. Okay. And then when it comes to connection, okay, let's actually cover the torso a bit later on. So this is the essence of muscles on dinosaurs. So let's sculpt, shall we? Keeping in mind that we have different proportions right here. So since we have the what's it called, the silhouette, we can go a bit lower. So probably somewhere around here. Let's remesh and smooth it slightly. Okay. And we're gonna pick draw sharp and press Shift S so that you can have that stroke stability turned on. And from, let's take a look, almost from the end of the, what's it called? From the ilium, we're gonna run the margin of the muscle that is a chunk of 3. Okay, let's look from the front. And that goes up. Okay, so we got the first part done. Then we're gonna get that small muscle that's right here. It's the one that I told you about. Alright, yeah, before that, actually let's do the gastrocnemius muscle. So from the side, it bulges out, and then it goes here to connect around this area, which creates that bulge around the melt of the muscles. And yeah, it kind of goes under. Let's look from the back. How does it look from the back? Yes, it has this, it goes down basically. And from the inner side, let's look. Right here. And then it ends somewhere about here. And it goes down. Okay. And then we're gonna cut it somewhere around half to show you guys that it is two-headed muscle. Just like our calves. Okay? We get that out of the way. Now we can create that small muscle that tucks under. Right here. Okay. And then these two muscles that I told you about. So you always keep watch on the reference. Always, 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 always. Goes here. And then the one muscle that's gonna go right there. Okay. So let's keep it very clean so that you do not get confused. Okay, and then we're gonna draw that muscle that's in the middle that I told you about. Around here. Okay, and then it gets smaller and smaller the closer we get to here. Okay, we got here. From the front. Okay, yeah, it is a bit more curved. Okay, wait, let me actually fix that. I've done it here wrong. That's better. And we got a really, really nice indication of muscle. So let's just bring this in, bring this out a bit, bring this out, bring this in. I think these need to go out a bit. All right, so we roughly have the legs. Now, sorry. Now let's do the torso. So before we do that, so this is curves are for some reason they're always by default shaded smooth. So let's shade it flat. Let's shade flat and let's connect neck, this, tail, and torso. Control J. Oh, right, what happened? Yes, this happened. So they were probably mirrored, yeah, to nothing. Okay, so Alt H. Let's mirror it here. Mirror this. Okay, let's take a look. mirror, 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 and mirror. So it happened because we had one object. They were, if I remember correctly, they were mirrored to the neck. So we kind of got rid of the neck, and we only have torso now. So it didn't know what to really mirror to. So we had to redo this and mirror it to this object, which is torso. Okay. So now let's turn down the geometry. I mean, add more geometry. The number goes down, but it's really the geometry. Okay. So you see, if this happened to you, it's because we have hole in the mesh, and the hole in the mesh is right here at the tip of the tail. It's like a characteristic of the curves. So on the both sides they are hollow. I mean, they have holes. So let's fill it with F. So you need to select that loop with Edge Select and Alt. Yeah, let me turn on screencast. So with Alt, let me show you. Alt, F, and we are good. Okay, now let's remesh. What's that now? Probably this. So let's Alt, F, and we're good. And now it has to work. Yes, it works. So let's start smoothing it out, everything. So yeah, remember what I told you, it's not about 100% precision, it's about 80%. Alright. So let's actually take care of this part. Let's fix the silhouette. So it's gonna be a bit more difficult since we have more geometry, but at the same time we have more control, but not always more control means it's easier. So let's inflate it a bit and smooth it. Just tweak it around. This needs to go up slightly. Don't worry about the neck, I made it thicker on purpose. Alright. So now it's lecture about the torso anatomy. And we're gonna take a look at Rex. So he's a chunky boy, but do not worry about this. Yes. So let's take a look. T-Rex. First of all, we're gonna have few important muscles. I like to start with the latissimus dorsi, which is lats, in other words. Okay, let me zoom in actually. A bit more. Let's select this. So we got lats. They connect close to the ilium. And it connects here under the deltoids, which are the muscles that we have blocked out, and there are this chunk around here. Okay, next step. You're going to have traps, the trapezoid muscle right here, which stabilizes the neck, and it's under the lats. Next step, we're gonna get closer to the neck. Are the mastoid muscles, which stabilize, like allow this movement of the neck, if I'm correct. Yes. So actually, as humans, we also have the mastoid muscle. I think you're gonna see this because I'm skinny. If you push your head forward, you can see this like muscle bulge out a bit right here. Okay, so it's basically the same for the dinosaurs. And it comes into for some reason. Don't ask me why, but this is how it is. Okay, and then another muscle which goes from the neck to the tip of the tail. Okay, you're gonna remember this. I don't remember, but I don't remember the name of it. Okay, so it's this muscle right here on top of the head. It goes here, goes under all of these muscles, and then it comes out here, and then it's the one in the middle. Okay, so it's gonna be this one. And then the rest of these you don't need to remember, you just need to remember to look at reference. So we got these that are under, and they come into for some reason. Once again, we got some muscles. Pick the puke green color, the one that goes under the one on the top, and then we got the one that goes under both of these, which is right here. Okay, so you just look at reference. It's gonna repeat itself, like these muscles. On some of dinos they are gonna be bigger, and some of them are gonna be smaller. So yeah. Now let's pick a different color. We're going to have the iliocostalis, I think, the one that basically keeps the legs together so that they can move this way. Is this muscle? Okay, it's under the lats, but it attaches from the ilium. Next up, we have the kind of like obliques on humans. So it's gonna be this big chunk of a muscle. It's gonna have this shape around here, and it has these like lines here. You know, we don't really need to draw them, but they are present. And then we have the abs, the abdominal muscles, which are gonna be right here under here. And then we have different color. We have the pectoralis, which are somewhere out here, and let me show you real soon from the bottom view. So remember, pectoralis and abdominal muscles, which are here. And then lastly, for the tail, I'm running out of colors. We have this one, and the same as this one. So it's 1, 2, and then 3. The third one being that of a weird shape. This one. And the third one right here. So it's 3 of these because they attach to the spine, and there are certain attachments in the spine that allow only this much amount of muscles to be there. And then here we do not care about them that much, honestly. Why? Because I'm not gonna sculpt the cloaca, let's be real, like no one cares. It's not in the 20% that's necessary, okay? So we have all of these muscles. If you need to, you should rewatch the video or come back to it. It's up to you. Okay. Now let's take a look from the bottom. Okay, let's pick green, or kind of green. So here we have the the pectoralis were green, right? So let's pick green. Here we have the pecs. They have this shape, and they attach to the coracoid. And then we're gonna have the abs. I don't remember which color I used, so I'm gonna use this one. It has this like kind of like end of an arrow. You see? It's kind of like an arrow or a spear. I like to think of it this way. So we're gonna have this shape. And then the rest here, you don't need to think about it. And then the legs, we have talked about them. Okay, so I think that's enough for the torso, and so let's sculpt the muscles on the torso, always keeping a reference on you. So let's start with the lats. So close to the ilium, somewhere out here. and then somewhere around the beginning of the neck, so here. Okay, so if you want to do some small movements, you turn off the stabilization on Shift S and you should be good. Okay, Shift S once again. Let's do the iliocostalis, which is here. I don't know why I remember the name of it, but I do. Let's pull it out a bit. Next up, let's show the obliques. Out here. Okay, so now just from the side. Now let's sculpt the caul of femoralis. I don't know what the name of this is. Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. Where does it end? So it ends somewhere out here. So let's just draw this in here. Okay, so we have that muscle on the top. Now let's do the traps. The traps somewhere out here, I think. So maybe in the somewhere around the middle of the neck to the coracoid. All right. Oh, let's improve this. And then let's draw in the mastoid muscles, which they attach right here on the top of the skull. I mean, on the side of the skull, this point right here. And then it's gonna go under the trap. Like that. And then it's gonna go from here as well. It's gonna go to the coracoid. Pick a different angle. And then to the coracoid. Okay. So we get that out of the way. Let's smooth out. So smoothing out is kind of like erasing at this point. But try to be as precise as possible. And then we have that muscle that tucks under. And then we don't need to draw this one out because it's there. Okay, and then from the bottom side, not from the bottom, but on the lower side we have these muscles. So let's draw them. This one goes under here. And then this one goes to the coracoid. Okay, let's bring them together. Okay, so we got that, and now I would like to draw the pecs, and let me show you an image. This is how it looks like. These are the pecs. So pecs are gonna go somewhere a bit less than halfway, or somewhere about halfway. It's gonna go under here. I know it's a bit exaggerated, but okay, yeah, let's just bring it to here to here. And then it tucks under the deltoids. So let's grab somewhere around here. And let's just, wait, let me show you. So I pulled from here to this side, and then I will just try to make it look good from all of the sides. Okay, it tucks under the deltoid. Okay. Okay, let's bring it down because it's gonna be rather big. Muscle, an important muscle. Let's pull this out because of the coracoid. And then that arrow-shaped thing goes here. Let's look at the reference, no guessing. Yeah, somewhere around here. Okay, so we get the neck and the middle part done. And now let's start drawing these muscles on the tail. So let's draw this that goes all over the body of the dinosaur, from the neck to the tip of the tail. Then the one that kind of goes outwards a bit, somewhere around here, and then it continues. Okay, let's bring it to the end. And then let's do that one that has an odd shape. Out here. We get this one. Connected. Okay, I'm gonna bring this closer, and the reason being for that, because dinosaur didn't have too much fat, so it's gonna, like usually, it's gonna get a bit shrink wrapped to the bone. So not ilium but ischium, and the pubis, it's gonna be covered by skin rather tightly. Okay, so let's make a nice taper so that it evenly goes to this way. All right. So this doesn't look that bad, so let's inflate it just a bit. And now it's time for the arms and for the deltoid. So let's take a look. What do we have here? Let's look at the front. Okay, maybe from the front even. So the deltoids were neon green. So they attach somewhere out here in the coracoid, in the top of the coracoid, like that. What else do we have? We have this, which is gonna be not part of the deltoid, but it's, I think, teres major, if I'm correct. So it kind of counts as part of the deltoid, so let's say it is part of the deltoid, if we were to simplify. So we have these. And yeah, let's take a look from the side. We have the same stuff going on, so let's shape it to the reference. And it attaches between the bicep and the tricep, so it has that like an arm plate thing going on. Yes, that's what I was looking for. That's the word I was looking for. So this is pretty close to the skin, and then this protrudes a bit, so let's inflate it. Okay, let's look at the front. It's going to attach quite high on the coracoid. Yeah, that's why it's useful to model these bony landmarks when you have issues with understanding how do they work. Okay. Yeah, that's so much better. Okay, let's bring this down. This down. Okay. And let's remesh it to the lower value. Smooth it out slightly. And let's run all of these. Let's show where the muscles are. Somewhere about here. Then it's gonna be somewhere about here. And then this is the teres, this is one head of the deltoid, and then another head of the deltoid. Okay, this is pretty clean, so keep it as clean as possible. And now it's time for the arms. So what do we have here? I mean, it's a bit pixelated, but let me draw it for you. First of all, we have the bicep that is right here. Then we're gonna have the tricep, which is right here. It has 3 heads. We do not have a look at them inside, but I will draw it for you. And then we have these forearm muscles. So here. Oh yeah, the pink ones. So the tricep. It attaches right here. Okay. Let's look at the front. Tricep was this weird color. So it attaches here. This is what I told you, it goes a bit inside. The bicep, now the tricep, which is right here. And then the forearm muscles. And let me show you. This is one part of the muscles, and then this is the other part of the muscles. So we have, as similar to us, we have this complex of forearm muscles, and then we have complex of forearm muscles right here. So there are abductors and adductors, I think. So some of these allow for motion like that, and then some allow motion like that. And here's the thing, actually, that many like movies and media gets wrong. Dinosaurs couldn't have their arms like this, like, you know, the T-Rex had his arms like this. That's simply untrue. They did not have enough, they did not have muscles that go from here to here that allowed the movement that we have. So dinosaurs could only move their hands like outwards a bit, and then the wrist. There wouldn't be that much movement around here. Maybe just a little bit, but not too much. So only more movement like that. Okay. I don't know if you could see there, like that. So let's start sculpting. So let's go into a lower value. Move it out. And let's draw the bicep. We got the bicep. Let's draw the tricep. Let's hide the legs and the torso. And then it's gonna go out here. And we're gonna have a cut in here. And this one, okay, we're not adding volume just yet, but soon we will. Let's cut it. Well, let's look at this side. So here we're gonna have bone, but here let's cut this for that one complex, and then in the middle we're gonna have this complex of forearm, and then from here we're gonna have another complex of muscles, and then here, wait, something like that. Okay, so here we have bone, and here we have bone as well. So this is simple, extremely simple. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Musculature on a theropods tyrannosaur. Okay, it's gonna be simple for other theropod dinosaurs, so meat-eating ones. So if we are done with this, let's start adding mass and volume and priority to certain muscles. So let's bring you a bit in. Now, when you take a look at the lat, so this big muscle, it goes between under the deltoid and between these two tricep heads. So we're gonna use masking now. So let's press M to go to masking and select this area somewhere around here. So with Shift, we can smooth it out. Control I to invert. And let's make the... let's draw around this so that you are only pulling the lat muscle. And then using grab brush, let's pull it down. Around here, and then let's inflate it just a bit. Move it. That looks natural. And there you go. Okay, so the lats are going under there. It's important so we get it right. Okay, the next step. Okay, so we have done this. Okay, so a bit earlier than I expected, but we have the these parts. So now let's actually get a bit more geometry. Just a bit. And let's, using clay strips, turn this on, the size pressure. And we're gonna make sure that the mastoid muscles are relatively massive compared to other muscles. So let's add mass to it with clay strips. Just slightly, very lightly on the tablet we are adding mass to it, and then to the other mastoid muscle too. Now let's add some mass to the traps. Same method. Okay, and then same stuff for the lats. So the striations go from this part to the outside. So let me draw it for you. So they're going like this. The muscle fibers. They're going like this. Okay. For the pecs, they are going kind of like this. They have this fan shape, so... Oh, they have nipples for a second there. So they are kind of going like that. So this is some small details, but it can really take you far. Okay, what else? Let's add some mass to this. So we're kind of like cross-hatching a bit, if it makes sense. This muscle, and then smoothing. Yeah, let's smooth these parts. Slightly move these. And it's actually looking really, really cool. Okay. We got the deltoid, so let's give it the same treatment. So the striation goes here, where it goes inside. Let's do this. Let's leave this muscle, the teres. Let's leave it, so smooth it out slightly. Now add some more geometry to the arms. And here, what you're gonna have from here and here, we're gonna have like quite a lot of muscles. So let's draw them in. So the bicep as well. Let's add some volume to it. And now, let's hide. Let's add quite a lot of volume to the other head of the trap, not traps, but the other heads of the tricep right here. So a bit more mass than this one. So this is the middle head, and then here we're gonna have the third head, but it's not visible, so I wouldn't really bother with it too much. But yeah, just know that it's in there. So same for this. And then let's just slightly smooth it out. Like here. And here. And let's add mass to this. So muscles going in this direction. And smooth it out slightly. So we got that part. Torso has volume now. And let's add volume to these. Now remember this complex has 3 parts, right? So let's show it with clay strips. So make sure that you don't draw on these, so you can actually mask it out if you want to. Control I to invert, and let's do the part number 1, the muscle number 1, then number 2. So they all meet in here, so let's keep that in mind, and then the muscle number 3, which goes just straight down, sorry. And then smooth it slightly, very slightly. Okay, so we got that stuff. Let's add mass to the gastroc. Two heads of the gastroc muscle. So here is the peak part. I mean, here, where it bulges the most. Now let's do the same treatment to the other head, which its peak is gonna have somewhere about here. I know it might be a bit weird, but it just takes time to understand volume and what it is in practice, but I'm trying to explain as much as possible. Okay, and then slightly smooth it, very slightly. Okay, so if you lose detail, then we're gonna actually do it. You're gonna improve the details using crease brush, but not just yet. I'm gonna just improve what we've lost with draw brush, just ever so slightly. Okay. This one, yeah, we can add some volume to it as well. So I get rather big size of the brush, and then I just add mass to it. So let's smooth it super slightly. Okay, so we have that. Oh yeah, let's add some mass to this muscle because it's quite big in Tyrannosaurs. Okay, now like this. Now I'm gonna try and with crease brush show what is up, what is over, what is under. So definitely crease this part along this. Crease along here, so the gastroc muscle. Definitely want to crease this. And then the one that's kind of goes all under, and then this one, and then this one. So 1, 2, 3. This one's on the back. Crease this one that's kind of in the middle. And now what we have is we have nicely showing bony landmarks. So we have this muscle, which is this bony landmark. Let me show you. So we have this bony landmark, which is this bony landmark, then on the other side it's pretty much the same. This bony landmark. So Shift S with the sculpt brush to turn off the stabilization stroke, and let's draw under here. And then smooth ever so slightly. Just slightly tap it. Okay. And we have very nice musculature here going on. And then let's do the same treatment to all of these muscles. This is definitely gonna be creased. Smooth it. Crease it. Smooth it slightly. Crease it, and then don't really smooth it out, just because these muscles are gonna be... they're pretty strong, so... Or just tap. Just tap very slightly. Crease this one. Crease this one because it's going under. And then crease this one and smooth this. So yeah, you're gonna get like a feeling if what can be creased and what cannot be creased. It just comes with time. It's just hard to explain with this. Yeah, we could crease this, but very slightly. Oh yeah, definitely crease this. Pecs, they're gonna need to be creased. Crease the delts. The teres major. And then crease some stuff in here. Then the bone landmark, that's here. And crease in here. So they are actually, these forearms are gonna create this triangle shape here, which should be present. So, yeah. So crease is used to improve what has already been drawn with, let me turn on the light, what has already been shown with draw sharp. Okay, draw sharp to show, crease to polish it. And then in the middle, we have this line. Okay, and then let's improve the silhouette. If you remember, this would go out. This would go out as well, and then the bicep a bit here as well. Okay, this is very nice. I'm super happy how it has turned out to be. Look at the front. So he became a bit bulky. Okay, let's back silhouette, because I told you it's gonna get messed up just a little bit. So let's get this in. Let's get this out, and if you look from the bottom, make sure that it's a bit rounded. The gastroc muscles or the calves are a bit rounded. Okay. From the front, right? The bony landmarks. Let's get this in, this out, this in. So we get this relation of the gastroc. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough for the episode. Let me take a look. We didn't talk about the head yet, and it's quite simple. So we're not gonna have too many muscles here, but let's draw. So we have this jaw muscle, which is right here, and then it's, you know, it attaches here. I think it goes like this, if I remember correctly. So this is definitely something that you want to draw in here, like a bulge in this place. Another thing, which is also one of the attachments of the jaw muscles, is an attachment right here. So it's gonna bulge out a bit. And what else? Yeah, I think that's enough actually of the muscles. So just these two things. I didn't want to talk too much about it. So with clay strips, we're gonna show what it is. And with clay strips, we're gonna sculpt in here. Yeah, we're gonna take some time on the head later on, so don't worry about it. Yeah, here is anatomically correct T-Rex, Pinocchio T-Rex, which is the name for the Changiosaurus. Alright, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.